think I've wasted my money on a Hilleberg tent. In fact, I'm pretty sure I have, and I've not even seen it in the flesh yet. And as you can see by this package, she's a big one, humongous in fact. So I'm gonna head up to the local cricket field and pitch it up and see what we're dealing with. I was just gonna pitch it up in garden, but I want to get it out and have a proper good look around it. And I don't live with Beckham, so I'm not even sure if it'll fit in my garden. Like I say, it is a colossal piece of apparatus. Here we are. Sure they won't mind me borrowing it for a little bit this morning. Freshly cut as well, you love to see it. So, this is as good a spot as any. Let's get her whacked open, see what we're dealing with. I'm just going to keep this rolling because this is like a first time reaction for me as well. Basically, I seen this tent, it's used by the way, if you've not guessed already, it's very used. It couldn't be any more used, to be honest. I seen this tent a couple of months ago doing the rounds on Facebook in a couple of groups. It might have just been a Hilleberg group, and someone was asking for £350 for it. So straight away you're thinking, Hilleberg, £350? Doesn't sound right to me. And I actually remember thinking, you'd have to be an idiot to buy that. Well, a couple of months later, I seen that very same tent on eBay. Thought, I'll add that to my watch list. You know what it's like, just out of interest really, to see what it goes for. Now it was listed for £200, so 150 squid, less than the original listing on Facebook. So I thought, stick that on my watch list and we'll see what's happening. A couple days before the auction ended, I thought, do you know what, I'll send him a little best offer. So it were an option on the auction. So I thought, I'll be cheeky, I'll offer, I think it were 120 quid or something like that. Might have even been 150, which could be still too much. And he politely declined. Wow, this has been packaged well though. That's a good sign, I can hear the poles. So we've got poles. So anyway, so I sent a best offer. Nah, didn't accept it. So I thought I'll set a timer on my phone for 10 minutes before the auction ends, just so I can see where we're at, what the crack is. So it got to the auction day, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited, still no bids. So it must have got to like 10 minutes of the auction left, still no bids. Thought, do you know what, this tent's coming home with me. So I got my little bid ready and I fired it in with 10 seconds to go, like you do on eBay when you want to guarantee that you get something. Oh, so it's a black label, and whether it's a good thing or not, I won the auction, and I guess we're going to find out if it's a good thing. So these are the poles. The poles look so far so good, but I will put them all together and check each individual pole. But this one looks fine, which is, well, yep, that one looks spot on. So you might be thinking, so far so good, it looks like you've got a good deal, especially when you see this. Look at that for a big old boy, eh? And when I spin you around here and show you what it is, that, my friends, is a Hilleberg Keron 4 GT. So far so good, you're thinking? Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. The second I take this out, you're gonna realise why this tent was so cheap. Bearing in mind, these tents brand new are, as of yesterday when I had a look on Hilleberg website, £1,670. Now I don't think that includes delivery, I'm not sure. And I got this tent 200 squid. You're thinking, what a bargain. What a bargain. Is that not supposed to be red? This is supposed to be a red tent. This tent has more fades than a Turkish barber's. So before we even go any further, that's the colour of the tent. That's the colour it's supposed to be. I'm going to click together all these poles, just double check that they're all okay. So I've got one that's definitely alright, and this one looks okay. It's a little bit bent. I'd say that one's bent. But these tent poles do bend over time, and it's not necessarily bad. It's just a bend to the shape of the tent. And as long as they haven't got any sort of splits or cracks in any of the joins, then you should be cushy. Last one. I've not seen any videos on how you pitch these tents, but I think it should be pretty straightforward. I'm just hoping. Yeah, that's bent, man. That is as bent as City's bookkeepers. But still, when you put it up, look at this. You can tell how bent that is. Bendy Wendy. But we'll see what it's like when it's up. So, let's move these where the camera is. Make sure you've got a good view. So if we pitch to the back of that line there, you stay there, yeah? Let's have a look at this. Good packaging though. Ooh, tent pegs. Now I wasn't sure if it came with any pegs. That would have been better really, because then at least I've had a bit of money in the pegs, because they're quite expensive. But no, didn't come with any pegs. Luckily I did bring some with me just in case. So I've got my normal set of pegs that I use. Oh! Oh. I thought I heard some pegs then. But nah. Oh boy, this tent has seen some action, eh? Come on mate, you could have rolled your guy lines up. Right, which way around is this bugger? Wow, that is faded, eh? It's that big. You might have to move back a little bit. How are we looking? Ah, nah, you're alright there, aren't you? Let's move you back a tad, just in case. So, is that a door? He's still exciting, man. Wow. Jeez. Look at the size of the beast, man. It's mental. One thing I've noticed already, quite concerning, but I did see this in the pictures. It's had more repairs than roads in Bradford. But as long as they're good repairs, we should be alright. That's it. Now I've got to be careful. I'm going to leave that like that for now. Get the next one in. It's actually a long walk around it. Right, so all the poles are in. I've got my 2 pegs. Let's get ready for the big reveal. So I need this metal loop and this metal loop. And we should be good to go. Here goes. Let's hope it don't rip. Is that it? Oh, we're in. Whoa. Wow. It's like a space station. Look at the size of this tent. Look at the fade on that, man. What a fade. That's what it's supposed to look like. And that's what it looks like. That's seen some nights, eh? Some nights under the old sun. Now, I'm struggling to date this tent. I have emailed Hilleberg, but I'll tell you a little bit more about that later on. So what I've noticed is it's actually got, if I just plonk you down there again for a second, it's actually got snow skirts, which on the Hilleberg website, if you look at Kerons, if I'm saying that correctly, hopefully I am, if you look at Kerons or Keron GTs, they don't come with snow skirts. Look at the repairs here. I'll show you this straight away. I'm going to have a proper good look round it. We've got a repair there. A repair there. I wonder what happened. Someone stubbed out a big old doobie on that, I reckon. Oh God, look at that. Frankenstein's monster's been at that. Oh shit. What are these little smutterings down here? Not sure. Oh, one at guy lines is tied up. This looks all normal. This you usually bend into place, so you can sort of shape it to get the best ventilation. So if you want to put it right down like that, you can, and then you sort of guy it out then like that. Just shows how much damage the sun can do. Just look at the bottom of the tent, how red it is. Well, it should be that colour, with borderline white at the top. Hilleberg pink label. Just wonder how weakened that now is. Do you know what I mean? Like, how much damage does that do? Has it just lost the colour? Or has the tear strength weakened significantly? I wasn't sure, but Hilleberg have certainly let me know. Now, although we had some bent poles, you can't really tell now it's up. I guess there's a little bend there. You can see, you might be able to see that. It's hard to see it on camera, 'cause it's not too bad and maybe once it's guyed out. In fact, that is probably from being guyed out. If you think of where that tie out point is at the bottom, if that's been pulled out too much, or it's had some crazy Arctic conditions battering it. We don't know what this tent's had to deal with. Just think of the history behind this tent. For it to be that faded, had that much repair done to it, it's seen some action, hasn't it? So obviously, as you'd expect by the title Keron 4 GT, it is a 4-person tent with 2 entrances and 2 vestibules. We've got this one here on this side. Now that is a tidy vestibule. That is a very big vestibule actually. A lot bigger than my Solo. That's probably about as big as my Solo on the inside. No joke. That's dirty, innit, that? But because it's just part of the storm flap, it doesn't really matter. Because even if that was to leak, as long as you've not got the inner door open, in fact, look at the line there. Looks like you've got a tan. That when you lift your shorts up. So that's the original colour that hasn't been damaged. And then that's the faded one. Yeah, like I was saying. So as long as that door's not open, it doesn't really matter about that at all. But when it comes to vestibules, the main event is in the other side. Holy smokes! Look at the size of this vestibule. Look at this. Jeez. Look at the vestibule on that. Let me get in. Look at this. Oh my lord. This is cool. This is cool. Wow. Wow. Oh my god. Oh my god. Look at the size of this tent. Right. Let me take my shoes off. Don't know which way you're supposed to sleep. I guess it's this way. Yeah. So, 4-man tent, or 4-person tent. I can certainly see why. Look at this, we've got a new little carabiner. Free carabiner. Oh, it's worth every penny then. 4 pockets, 4-man. You can open that to the second vestibule. Mental. Why did I buy this? Do I have any need for this? I feel like I just bought it for the sake of it. And I've just wasted my money. Because I'm not even sure what I'm going to use it for. I have thought of some ideas. I'm getting really warm though. So I emailed Hilleberg. Basically looking for a bit of history. So let's have a look. See if they could find any way of finding out when it was manufactured. Ask what the crack is with the snow skirts. Because online, like I say, none of the photos show any snow skirts on the website. And to see how much, just out of interest, a new fly sheet would cost. So the fly sheet is obviously the outer tent, so none of the poles and not this inner, basically the main part of the tent, to be honest. And do you know what they said? This is when I realised how expensive the tent was. Just to replace the outer fly sheet, which makes sense, obviously. 1,200 English pounds. So that's not an option. I don't need this tent that much to be spending that. And I could have got a decent one for 700 quid or something maybe. Maybe cheaper, I don't know. Used, obviously. but still 200 bones. So now the question is, what can it be used for? Realistically, what can it be used for? One thing Hilleberg did say was, with the amount of fading and the repairs, especially one of the repairs that's close to the pole sleeve, they wouldn't recommend using it in any crazy conditions, something like that. Don't know how strong it is with the UV fading. I think they were more concerned about one of the repairs, so I'm going to have a good look at that, because they thought it was taped. They said we've got some concerns about the taped repair close to the pole sleeve, but it's not taped, it's actually another piece of fabric that's been stitched in. So I'm going to check that out properly, see what we're dealing with. So I've been thinking of a few options. So, bike packing. This would be good for bike packing, not necessarily solo bike packing. Me and the other 2 founding members of the Bradford Bushcraft Bastards are going to be going on a bike camping trip, or a bike packing trip, whatever you call it. So maybe we could use this tent. Would 3 of us get in here? Would it be comfortable? Would there be any point? One thing that I will be looking to test out is how many bikes can you fit in this bad boy? Because I reckon you might get them in. Not 100% sure if you get 3 bikes in, but maybe you might even get 1 in that vestibule. If so, you definitely get 2 in this one. So that's an option. So we've got bike packing, even solo. I don't mind bike packing solo in this. I won't be going anywhere too extreme because I'd be on a bike. As long as the weather's alright, it doesn't really matter, does it? So, another option was replacing the fly sheet. So I did think about that until I'd emailed Hilleberg. I was thinking, if I replace the fly sheet for, I don't know, say it costs 500 quid or something, and I've got the tent for 200, 700 quid for a £1,700 tent. It's not bad going, but that's not an option. This is something that poses its own risks actually, but still something worth considering. What about making, and this could be the world's first, but I reckon with this vestibule being as big as it is, this has the potential to make an epic hot tent for winter camping. If you don't know what a hot tent is, it's basically a stove where you get a, what are they called? It's like a chimney, like a, I don't know what they are, like a flume or a spout or something. Not a spout, that's on a teapot in it. Whatever it is anyway. Then you cut, I know this sounds dodgy. If you don't know what they are, then it sounds even worse, but basically a massive square would be cut out of this. And you'd replace that with some fire resistant, I think it's actually made of part fiberglass. And it's like another fabric with a hole in the middle where we'll call it a chimney. The chimney goes through so that the fumes get released out of the tent. Just sounds really dodgy, doesn't it really? But it is possible. And when are you ever going to find yourself in a situation where you're willing to potentially destroy a Hilleberg fly sheet to make something like that? That could be the first one ever created. It's an option anyway, but it'll certainly be one of the last options. Or do I just use it? Use it as it is. Don't matter whether it's bike packing. It's a bit heavy to be doing some crazy mountain summits, but for certain camps, I reckon it'd be alright. And as long as the wind isn't super crazy, it can't really get damaged, can it? Surely a faded, heavily repaired Hilleberg tent has to be stronger than some of the shit tents you see used. I don't mean shit as in people are using shit tents. I mean like, you can buy an Argos tent or a £20 festival tent. People still use them. Surely this has got to be still stronger. It's still a ripstop, curl on. They boast about how strong their fabric is. So it might not be expedition ready, but it's still got to be strong enough, right? What I do know is I'm going to have to get out of here because I am cooking, never mind a hot tent. Another option is to use it as a bit of a family tent. This could be used at campsites and stuff. Not that I've ever actually camped at a campsite, but you never know. One day you might go out with family or whatever and you've got a little base camp tent. It could be used as a bit of a base camp tent. Imagine if you're in middle, I'm going to say a snowstorm. I don't think this is surviving any snowstorms. But you could be up in Cairngorms or something. Get this pitched up somewhere. Leave it pitched up. Don't shout at me in comments. I'm talking depths of winter here, say if there's snow. And then you want to go off on your little Munro bagging little escapades. And then come back to an already pitched base camp tent. It's an option. Don't forget, with something like this, you could always bring a little bivvy, just in case it was to fail. You've got one hell of a fly sheet to protect you from wind, haven't you? And the rain, and the snow, and the elements. Oh, and Hilleberg did say they don't sell their tents as standard with snow skirts, but they are available as an optional extra. So imagine how much that'd have cost to get snow skirts attached. And stitched, mind you, they don't just clip on, they're fully integrated into the fly sheet all the way around. The tents are 1700 bones, brand new. I reckon you're talking an extra 300 quid at least to have that snow skirt on, at least. So this has been clearly used in some crazy conditions, and I would like to know some more history about it. So if you somehow happen to stumble upon this video and you are one of the owners, you could be one of many owners, tents should come with a logbook, shouldn't they? I think they should definitely come with a logbook. That'd be sick. You sign it off, how many miles you've done, how many nights you've done. This thing won't pass an MOT, put it that way. Yeah, they should have an expedition MOT test. I guess I'll have to put it through one of them. So what are the other options then? Do I just sell it? Whoa, that sun. Why didn't I bring my shades, man? Let's get behind this tent. So do I just sell it? Try get a bit of my money back? Let it become someone else's problem? Who knows? Or, whoa, what was that? Or do I just admit defeat? And if it doesn't sell, then I've clearly wasted my money. It is what it is. So make sure you let me know in the comments what you think I should do with this bad boy. And if we are keeping it, we need a name for it. So I want some suggestions in comments as well. I'm hoping that this little tape seal here is watertight as well, because it doesn't come with a ground sheet, and I certainly won't be getting one of them, because imagine how heavy it'll be with a ground sheet. So hopefully the inner will be okay. The bug net looks a little bit frayed, but I'll only be really using this tent in winter anyway, so the bugs shouldn't be too much of a problem. I can just get this closed. We got YKK zips. We should have. It can't be that old. Yep, YKK's on there. That's good to see. So I guess keeping this tent is an option, really. All I need to do is get a replacement fly sheet, maybe replace those poles that are bent. I might even look at getting a new inner for it as well, because that's looking tired. And then we should have a perfectly good tent. Thanks for watching.